And if Gyökeres don't score against Liverpool, then he's out.
They should strip it from VAR and all technologies and do it in the old way and have the referee and linesman, and that's it.
Who's the next manager to get sacked?
After Thursday, if we put them to the sword, it's got to be Slot, isn't it? It's got to be.
We're gonna win the league. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna win the league. We swear. We swear.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 18 of the We Gonna Win the League podcast. Happy New Year to everyone who's been following us and watching us. Thank you for tuning in 2026. We honestly didn't think we'd make it this far, and I honestly didn't think at all we'd still all be together and it wouldn't crumble, but here we all are. So today we've got our regular, who always is on the show, Tom. We've got our regular guest, who became a guest early this year, early the end of last year, because he didn't want to pay £16. James, sorry. And Dennis is taking an extended festive break, so I hope he rests up and works to see him soon. So first things first.
A lot of stress.
Yeah. First things first. Thank you to our long-standing watchers of the show, subscribers, viewers, sharers, reelers. You're the real MVP. It really goes a long way. So we're going to start this week, gents, with the news that broke earlier today. Manchester United have parted ways with their manager, Ruben Amorim, after 14 months. It's no surprise after his comments at the weekend, where he basically said he needed more resources to play this style of football, and he needed more control, and the board needed to do what they do best and let him manage more of the team. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, for me, it's a great shame because he was doing such a fantastic job of keeping him as a Bob Standard club. So it's a bit gutting, really, but. What are your views, guys? Tom, you want to go first?
Yeah. So my thoughts are that it's a really sad thing. I think, like you, Amorim really did well for Man United in his 14 months in charge. I think it's just very, very sad and indicative of a very bad culture at Manchester United. I think the board members, there's obviously something going on there. I think that it's that they've got the ego that they're still the same club as they were 10, 15 years ago. And so they're very harsh on most managers, and if they start to lose a few games in a row. Actually, I think I saw the stats that he won, I think, 2 or 3 more games than he lost. Basically, like in his overall time at Man United. So I think it's very harsh. I think the fact that Amorim sort of said those things shows that there's a major sort of disconnect in between the various board members and the sport director and him as head coach. And that's just not a good thing at all. I think James had sort of said previously that he thought that if Amorim was still head coach, that they would come up the top half of the table. Now, I think that sadly they will go below in the bottom half of the table now that they've not got a manager and they'll try and find someone new. So it's now on to James.
You think they'll go to the bottom of the table already? Anyway, Chris is asking to join. Chris is asking.
It was basically I said the bottom half of the table.
Oh right, okay, yeah, go on, yeah. I was just doing that to say Chris has just messaged me. Oh, here he comes. Right.
Hello, boys. Can you see me all right?
We could a second ago. Since you've done that to you, now you've gone off. Yeah.
Hang on.
Now you're back on again. There we go. Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Not bad,
Hello,
thank
mate.
you. We've just started with Ruben Amorim and the sacking of the manager and how that's affected. So we're talking about that at the moment, and Tom's just gone first. Yeah, so we're basically. I mean, my opinion on him was I think he was doing a good job at Man United. And I think and I did say at the start of the season, I thought Man United would get in the top half of the table and even push for like the top 6. So, and I think they've done pretty well, to be fair. So it was a bit of a shock. But Craig said it's something to do with what he said after the game. Was it after the game, Craig?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he criticised the board, didn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't very. Obviously, he's taking a lot of slack for Manchester United. He feels he was taking a lot of slack for Manchester United's poor, not just results, but how they look from the outside world. And he's basically just thrown the ball under the bus as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I thought also the Wolves game didn't help, obviously, because that was like to draw to Wolves. Like after Wolves hadn't won, they'd literally got nothing, had they, Wolves? And Man United really struggled against them, didn't they? So
he has said some really odd things in the past, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's lucky to have his job still, really, because I think it was after like 6-7 games, everyone was like calling for him out, weren't they?
Yeah, he is very unusual in his interviews, and he's very unusual in the way that he approaches them sometimes.
Yeah, it's like he's not used to the media, but he's been there long enough to realise they're going to come.
Yeah. I think it's the way he reacts to some of the questions and things like that, and he doesn't always. I think he just says what's on his mind sometimes, and he doesn't always think of whether it's the right thing to say for the club, does he? That's what I think. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I'm quite surprised. I never expected him to get the sack, and even the Chelsea manager to some degree. I didn't expect them to either sack him within the last couple of weeks, to be honest.
Who's next? Who's next?
Who's next at Man United? Oh, I don't know.
No, who's the next manager to get sacked?
Oh, who's the next manager to get sacked? Oh,
Arteta out, maybe.
If you don't bring a trophy.
This is where we need Dennis, isn't it?
Yeah, he would say that, wouldn't he? He'd say Emery's better, Arteta out. Yeah. I don't know who's the next to get the sack. Because West Ham have already changed manager, haven't they, recently? I'm not sure. It's very difficult to say at the moment. Who do you reckon's next?
It's got to be Slot, isn't it? It's got to be.
I think it's too early for Slot.
After Thursday, when we put them to the sword.
I think it's too early for Slot.
I think he's gone after that.
Yeah, I think it's too early. Probably ended I think he'll have another beginning of the next season because of winning the league. I think it's too much of a, I think winning the league's too much of a high prestige to get the sack so early. But all the players he's brought in, it's now to me it's more of his team, and I think the players that he's brought in hasn't worked quite as well. But it takes the time for him to adjust as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, absolutely.
And not just that. I mean, like what Tom said as well, with Man United sacking Amorim so close. I mean, they are sitting sixth in the league. I mean, it's not a bad position to be in. And Chelsea, the same. They're fifth in the league. This could really, I mean, it could really go south. Both teams coming towards the end of the season because it's basically both teams are going to be unsettled. They've got to find a manager who's going to basically be able to bring both sets of teams together because you can tell Manchester United for a long time now have been very unmanageable to some managers. And Chelsea are basically a group of kids, aren't they? Basically being managed by themselves at the moment. So it's going to be interesting come the end of the season where both of those teams end up. I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise, but I'm not too sure.
It was obvious they'd struggle once Bruno Fernandes was out, though, weren't it, as well? Because he's like their main man. And that was another thing. It's obvious that would be a real disruption for the team because he's like their leader, really, isn't he? He's the main. Everything goes through him, doesn't it, really? So yeah.
So obviously, welcome to the show, Chris. That formally introduce you. So people, so this is our number one fan.
Oh, absolutely.
So as it stands, nobody's actually going to be watching this now because everyone's involved in it.
Dennis will be watching it. Dennis will definitely be watching it.
Yeah, I know what happens now.
Yeah, Dennis is on his extended Christmas break enjoying himself, so we'll see where that takes him. So let's move on to the best bit of the show then. Now we've spoken about the worst bit, which is Manchester United. Let's start with Arsenal Bournemouth then. Arsenal won 3-2, as all of you will know. I can't really give any justification to what I'm going to say here, because all three of you probably watched the game and going to give a better analysis of that game and what your thoughts are on the game, positives, any little negatives. But what are the negatives? I mean, Arsenal have extended the lead to 6 points now, haven't they? So one of you fight through wants to go first. Just go for it.
Well, the negatives for me, obviously, is Gyökeres not scoring still.
Yeah.
But I think he had a good game. I think he had a better game because and with that Rice goal, I think he took 2-3 men with him. So Rice had the space. When I know he didn't pass it back to him, it came off a defender and went back, and then they side-footed it to Rice, didn't they? But Odegaard side-footed it to Rice. But I think Gyökeres did take a lot of the players with him there, and I do think he's doing a job that maybe Jesus and Havertz wouldn't do. But Havertz is. I think Havertz does the physical side similar to Gyökeres, but maybe Gyökeres is more of a natural striker once he gets going. But the negative is he's not scoring, and he's probably not touching the ball quite enough. But then you think about Haaland, he hardly ever touches the ball. Like, he touches the ball like 5-6 times and scores a goal.
True.
So maybe it's just got to come with Gyökeres. It's just got to come at some point. And the other negative for me is obviously the Gabriel, but that's just that happens. He makes a mistake and he makes amends for it. At some point, everyone can make a mistake, and I think he came back stronger. And not many players do that, do they? Come back and score a goal right after they've made a mistake. So.
I've watched that a few times, and I'm trying to figure out what he's actually trying to do. It looks like he's trying to switch the play to Timber, on the other side, but it's sort of just hits his ankle and it goes straight across the goal. It's an open goal, isn't it? He's not going to miss that all day, is he?
No, I think he scuffs it, doesn't he? I think he just scuffs it. Yeah.
But you could see he was like a man possessed. Once that had happened, and he scores the goal. But I think that happened before against Fulham, and he rectified it, and he scored. He scored straight after. So
I used to think Saliba was our best defender, but I'm starting to think Gabriel's our best defender.
I think you're right,
because of the goals he provides, and also his actual character, his personality, the way he's at Arsenal.
Mate, he's amazing. I just feel safe.
I think he should be captain. I think Odegaard. I know they all voted for Odegaard to be captain or whatever, but I think he should be captain because to me he's the leader. And the other best player, the best two players in our team for me is Gabriel and Rice. I think they're the best two players. I mean,
you bang on the money there. Gabriel, just when you see him in the lineup, you just feel safe, and you just want him to tuck you into bed at night and give you a little kiss on the don't you?
I mean, does Saliba bring the best out to Gabriel? Is that what makes him so much better at being?
Saliba's more composed, isn't he?
Yeah.
When they work together, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Does Gabriel excel when he plays for Saliba, or is he just for you guys?
I think it's like a yin and yang. So they play off each other. So Big Gabby's got that personality of a winner. He really goes for it, and he has got that leader sort of he's quite mean and he's quite physical and he bullies players a little bit, whereas Saliba's the calm one and he's composed, and so I think they play super well both together. I think they do they just help each other out because they're this opposite sort of player.
They're like opposite sides of the coin, aren't they? Basically, they're like opposite personalities. One's very sort of erratic and sort of I'd say Gabriel's more sort of Gabriel is probably more likely to make a mistake like he did in the last game, whereas Saliba's more calm and composed, but sometimes you need that sort of chaos that Gabriel brings. You need that you need both, and I think they're like the opposites. They're like opposites.
I think there was a game where Saliba was back, and Gary wasn't, and I think we let a goal in, and then there basically was a zoomed in picture that sort of saw him speak, and they tried to translate it from French, and they sort of said that he was saying that like he was speaking to, I think it must have been Hincapié or something like that, and saying, we mean enough. And so that means that Gabriel also like brings that meanness, that bullying sort of part that he won't let anyone sort of push him out and that sort of thing. My favorite player, I think, is Big Gabby. I mean, like in terms of the whole Arsenal squad, I think he's just amazing.
Yes.
And he should be our captain, I think. Likewise, James. Like I think he just has that personality. Just he's a leader, and when he scores and when he defends, you don't just see him just roar like a lion. Like
it's great, isn't it?
Like,
it's like the last two games. He scored the first goal. He's got us going, isn't he? I mean, he scored the first goal in the game before that when he scored from the corner, and it weren't like a direct header, but he pressured Martinez, weren't he? So he's the one who scored against Villa, isn't he? And then he scores the goal, and I know he makes amends for his mistake, but he's the one that gets us going. That's what it feels like sometimes. Like if ever we're struggling out of nowhere, you get a corner and get us going. If we're struggling to break teams down, and that's what you need sometimes. I think I do miss Calafiori a bit, but I think Hincapié's done a good job. I think Hincapié's done a good job so far.
So you think he's good then? Do you? This how do you say it? Hincapié?
Hincapié. I think he's good. But I don't think he's a first team player at the moment. I think our first team defence is Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori. I think that's our first team.
Yeah. He does remind me of Gabriel when Gabriel first came to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because he's still learning, isn't he? He's still
learning. Yeah, I think Mascara looks good as well.
And he's played in two positions because he's not a left back, is he?
No, not really. No, he shouldn't be playing there really. But I think he's more trusting of him than Skelly at the moment because Skelly's still very young, and Skelly sort of tries to take players on his own half sometimes, doesn't he? And Skelly's a bit young and he has made a few mistakes. So I think he just trusts Hincapié more at the moment.
He does, yeah.
But Calafiori should be back soon, so that's good. Yeah.
Well, you've both all three of you mentioned how well Gabriel and Rice play, and obviously you get your goals from the wings, as Dennis would say. But obviously, one thing as an outsider looking in is I feel like Declan Rice has become the central to Arsenal's drive. Like obviously, you've got Gabriel who does a fantastic job. He is a leader. He's obviously leading the defence as well and giving confidence to all the team. But Rice just seems to be he scored 2 goals as well, but he just seems to be stepping up when. He just seems to be growing each time he plays, and because Gabriel's playing so well, and because Gyökeres isn't scoring, sometimes I feel like, you guys just mentioned how well he played, but I feel like sometimes he is like the Dark Knight, really. Just he's doing everything he needs to do and more. But I'd say from an outsider looking in, he is Arsenal's drive.
Right, yeah. He probably just needs to score a few more goals. He's becoming like a Gerrard now. He just needs to score a few more goals.
He's phenomenal, isn't he? He was bought in for a 6, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not playing that though, is he?
No, he's playing more like. Yeah.
Oh, there's the missus.
Yeah. And Zibamendi as well. Zibamendi's playing well. Yeah. So Zibamendi's doing that role, isn't he? That holding midfielder role now. And Rice is like more of like an attacking midfielder now, really. He's
those two together is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I didn't realise how much since Partey's left, we've not missed him at all. Zibamendi's just come in, and he's a different class to Partey, isn't he?
Yes,
really?
absolutely.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you got Odegaard, and then the one I feel sorry for, and I was mentioning it to Tom when we watched the last game. I feel a bit sorry for Eze at the moment. I need to start playing him because he's going to get the hump. I think
it's been about 4 or 5 games now, isn't it?
It has. It's been too long.
Since the hat trick, maybe.
And he needs to rotate the squad more, because if we don't start rotating the squad, it's like he's playing Timber an awful lot. Timber's been playing like every game. He needs a bit of a break. Bring Ben White and give him a break next game. Because he's playing a lot, and Ben White's could get in most teams as a right back anyway. So you could easily give Timber a rest, couldn't you? And we just don't want to get these injuries, do we? So
what I fear for Arsenal is they're going to do what James just said: play a lot of players, overplay them, get them injured, and all you're going to hear about Arsenal fans then is we've got injuries.
Yeah.
So I actually want
probably,
Arteta to rotate the squad because I don't want to be listening to that. Tom, you're a big Gyökeres fan. Is this the week you can actually say drop him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so not.
He loves him.
I think So I have said that until now. I think the past couple games, like past 2-3 games, I have started to think maybe he isn't the one that we need or needed. I think he lacks that finesse and that end result. Like we said, that Haaland is somebody who actually doesn't need to so I touch the ball many times and he has one touch and he scores. Gyökeres, you just feel like he wouldn't do that because a lot of the time the balls are crossed in and he's like half a yard out or he's trying to drag a few players with him and then he creates chances. And so that's the good thing that he does, is that he creates chances for others. But he is a striker. So that's where I'm starting to think that I don't think he should be benched for good, obviously. I think he should start most games, but then I think Arteta needs to be a bit more show a bit more leadership in terms of if Gyökeres doesn't score in the first half, and take him off and bring Jesus or Havertz in at the second half, because he needs to be sort of kind of. I know that he has got pressure already, and like he knows that he needs to score, but I think that might give him just that extra bit of incentive to like really try and put his thumb out.
So Tom, who do you start against Liverpool then? Do you go Gyökeres or do you go Jesus?
So I would have Gyökeres first, and then if he doesn't score in the first half,
who's that?
Then put Jesus on. Yeah,
he says this every week. Give Gyökeres till 60 minutes and then bring you.
Or
bring Havertz on.
No. So now I'm saying half time.
He's bringing it down a little bit
Oh
now.
yeah. Give him a half. Yeah.
What I'm saying. But now I'm saying that like he needs to sort of have more like a strict sort of. You have 45 minutes and then done, and then like his Jesus or Havertz comes on, because if they come on and they score like 1, 2, 3 goals, then like he is going to think, right, so that I need to really score next game because like the like team sheet, you know.
I think he starts. I think he starts against Liverpool, and he's going to get chances. I think.
Who starts?
She starts him against Liverpool.
I think he starts.
Do you think Jesus starts against Liverpool?
No, Gyökeres.
Yeah.
I think Gyökeres. The thing is, Gyökeres, like, I think he will start Gyökeres again. But the thing is, he's like, I saw something on the internet earlier, and they said how many games Arsenal played this season, and they'd only lost one game and drawn one when Gyökeres started. All the games Gyökeres is. So we've lost 2 all season, and how many we drawn? 3, have we? And they reckon we've only lost 1 and drawn 1 with Gyökeres in the first 11. So he must be doing something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same with Giroud?
So then why would you change it? Why would you change it?
I remember saying to James, right, Giroud does more for the team for Arsenal. He's like, no, a striker needs to score. End of debate. And now he must be doing something for the team.
So that's what I'm saying, James, is that it's fine that he's doing for the team, and that's good, right? But he is a striker. And like, if you look at Haaland or any striker, and you ask them, also like, what is your role? Goals is the number one thing, that their role is goals, you know.
Yeah, but would you care? Hang on, let me ask you.
He isn't doing it.
Yeah, but let me ask you this then. You go 38 games, right? We win the league, and Gyökeres has still only scored 5 goals, but he's played him every game. Then would you go, hang on, will it work? We won the league.
That's
Yeah.
what happened. That's what happened.
I'll be happy.
Hey, James. That's what happened to France, wasn't it? They won the World Cup.
Yeah, and Giroud had one shot the whole tournament.
Don't matter.
One
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's not about
you don't
goals.
care if you're winning, do you? You don't care. But no,
I do see what you mean, but
Yeah,
but for me, I think like, and it goes back to sort of watching the Arsenal when like I was younger and seeing Omri and Bergkamp and Perez and like these players, and the way that the older style football was that striker was the one who sort of went all out for the goals. And
yeah,
yes,
but football's changed now. It's
I mean, yes, Bergkamp scored and Perez scored and other players scored as well, but. And like I know that football's changed, so like perhaps it's just in my mind because like it's what I'm used to sort of seeing. Like
I think my battery's going to go flat. Yeah, go on, carry on.
That and like I watch City play quite a lot, and seeing Haaland just like do what he does just like makes me really want to have a striker who is like that for Arsenal, So like it makes you sort of want that. So
Yeah, but is that yeah? But that could be at the cost of, say, if you had that striker, but you didn't win the league, but you had this striker we got, and we win the league, and he only scores 5-6 goals all season, then you'd be happy to win the league, wouldn't you? So, but anyway,
and like I would be ultimately happy until I saw win the league. Yes, obviously I would be happy.
I'm gonna have to move. Sorry.
So obviously we've been on this segment for a while. Just want to ask Chris what his thoughts are on Gyökeres and what's your opinion? I know you said start him against Liverpool, but for the not long term, but if he doesn't score against Liverpool, what's the plan in your eyes?
I really like him. He's a good player.
Mm.
I think like you say, he does. He starts. You can't knock his work rate. But
yeah, he works hard.
He works hard, doesn't he?
But then so does Jesus and Havertz. They both work hard as well.
But I think it's a matter of time. Probably, if he doesn't score, Jesus comes in. I think it's probably a game, and then Jesus comes in. But we don't mind if we're winning games. To be honest,
we don't mind if we're winning.
Who'd have thought Jesus would have come back as he has done? Really,
I know he's made it class, hasn't he?
I remember Tom saying he was crap about 3 months ago. He said we should have sold him. Tom said he's a load of rubbish.
Yeah. Some Arsenal fans are saying that about Trossard, though, aren't they?
Trossard is brilliant. He's one of my favourites, Trossard. I love Trossard.
I have got a question for Tom or James, actually. There was someone that didn't even make the bench that I think should be getting minutes, and that's Ethan.
Oh.
So what do you think should happen to Ethan? Should he go on loan or should he just stay at the club? Because I looked at something earlier, and like as an 18-year-old, he's played more minutes than Saka. As an 18-year-old, he's played more minutes than Foden.
Mm-hmm.
So should he just stay, or should he go on loan to, let's say, a club like Bournemouth? Maybe would suit him.
I think he's going to get frustrated, isn't he? Because what's happening is he was always getting minutes last season, and he's had a few at the start of this season. I think he had a couple of, but since Eze's come in, and now when we get in the League Cup against Chelsea, I can't see Eze not playing in that position instead of Odegaard. So where's he going to play? That's the problem, and I think it is going to get to the point where we're either going to lose him to another team, or we're going to have to put him out on loan or do something, because I can't see him getting minutes now. We've got Eze and Odegaard.
He's
in
not.
That position. No, he's not going to get minutes. So even in the League Cup, we're probably going to play Eze. So it's a bit worrying, actually, because I don't want to lose Ethan anywhere, because I think he's a really good player. To be honest.
He's phenomenal. Because he kind of got dropped into the team last season because of injuries, didn't he? He got a lot of minutes under his belt last season. I'd love him to get more, but he's going to.
And he's unfairly been not getting minutes as well, because there's nothing he's done wrong to say he shouldn't be getting minutes.
Exactly.
He's unfair. It's just we've got another player coming in.
Exactly. And I only bring it up because he's one of our own. He's like Skelly. He's like Skelly, isn't he?
Yeah.
We don't want him to go nowhere else. We want him to stay here at the club.
Yeah. That's it.
The same situation. I mean, again, from an outsider looking in, Smith Rowe had massive potential, and he didn't probably get the chances at the start of his career that he should have done before they did give him that number 10 jersey and he weighed up. Is that a similar situation to you guys, where if you don't start playing him now, but then bring him in when he's he's not getting minutes, and he's kind of been detached from the club, not from the club, but from the squad a little bit from playing. I mean, because you've seen it before. I mean, Smith Rowe was meant to be one of the next great Arsenal players, wasn't he?
I think Smith Rowe was a bit of an issue with injuries and a bit of an issue with fitness as well. Because even when he came back, he never looked fit, did he? And even now in Fulham, he's only started getting in the team recently, hasn't he? And he scored a couple of goals within the last month or something. But he hasn't. I think he's always had fitness issues, Smith Rowe, and he's always looked like he's never seemed to.
He's injury prone.
And injury prone, yeah. So I think that was the reason behind him. But I don't see that with Namwari at the moment, to be honest.
But there's something special about this player. He's like, I can see something special in him, and I don't think we should let him go. So
and then we've got Dowman, who looks really good. Dowman. Matt Dowman looks
So I think that both Namwari and Dowman should stay at Arsenal because they are great talents. But I do think that they probably should be put on loan for a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I really hope that sort of the club that takes them on loan are very careful with them in terms of that injury-prone type thing, because a lot of young players are very good, but then they get paid too much or they get injuries and they're mismanaged, and then they end up sort of like not having a great career because they've not been they have been looked after right. So like if they do get sent on loan, then please those clubs please try and look after them and make them better.
I wanted to point out something actually, Tom, because Chris just mentioned, he said that he weren't on the bench, Namwari, and also neither was Havertz, and he was on the bench the previous game, so I found that really strange.
Do you think Havertz was?
I reckon he might start.
I don't think that was a mismanagement thing, that they brought him back too soon and then they realised that actually he wasn't ready. So,
but why wouldn't you have him on the bench? That's a bit strange. I don't know why, because he had him on the bench the previous game and then all of a sudden he's not on the bench. That didn't make no sense.
That is odd.
He's not got injured between being on the bench and not being on the bench, is he?
It's odd that.
Well, that was odd. The bug or something, I mean, like, you never know. Like, it
might be, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is one of my favourite players is, as we were saying earlier, is Trossard, and I think he's so underrated. Trossard, I think he's really underrated. He's probably our best clinical finisher. He's one of my favourite players, and I always believed he'd get in front of Martinelli. And in the summer, they won about selling him, weren't they? Which I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was really shocked, and I'm glad we didn't sell him, because you imagine now the goals he scored already this season, and and I know Martinelli's done well in the Champions League, but we'd have just had Martinelli that side, or we'd have had Madueke, who can't really play on the left. And we'd have probably, in fact, the only other thing we could have done is we could have put Saka on the left and put Madueke on the right. If we'd have got rid of Trossard, that would have probably happened.
Well, he's not tried that. He's not really tried that yet, has he?
He's not tried it, has he? No.
So obviously, Madueke, he started against Bournemouth, and I thought he was electric. Like,
I thought he was brilliant.
I thought he was unbelievable. Like even in the I think his last game was it the Champions League game where he scored that screamer.
Yeah, same as Martinelli did as well.
And it's perfect. You can give Saka a rest now, can you? But that could be an option where he sticks him on the left. But like you say, Trossard, he's undroppable, really.
Yeah. I think he's having such a great season for someone who's 32, one of our oldest players, and I think he's having so. And I remember my dad saying to me last year, he was saying, "Oh, Trossard's only like a second half player. He's only good when he comes off the bench." But this time, he's been playing every game, and he's been playing well. So I can understand why he said that, because we kept bringing him on as this and he was like this player that was like a squad player, wasn't he? That kept coming on and scoring. Yeah. And I never thought he'd get in the first team, but this year he's been playing every game, and I think he's been playing well, to be honest.
Well, and his finishing is probably the best in the team, to be honest.
I think he's the most composed finisher. He keeps the ball low, and also what I've noticed on the wing, when he's down the wing, he's not as fast as Martinelli, but he's quite quick with his feet, and he plays these sort of diagonal balls down the line, like to Gyökeres or to whoever, and they're the sort of balls that Martinelli never plays. He always plays crosses in the box and stuff, but Trossard plays these low, hard balls like into the area as they run down the channels, like Gyökeres runs down the channel, and he seems to find players in a different way on that wing, more inverted than Martinelli, who just seems to always go down the wing. Which I like Martinelli as well. They're different style players, but it's good to have two different style wingers. To be fair,
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, gents. Let's move on a little bit because it's turning into an Arsenal bit of a. I think you guys need to get a room or something. So I think we can put. I think I can put you in a room on this actually, and then let's move on before we cut time, because I think after an hour the video gets too large to edit. So on behalf of Dennis,
can we just talk about Dennis for a second? Or
I think that Dennis. I mean, Tom and James. We had a chat before, and I think for this episode we're going to let Dennis have his extended break. I mean, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to do an outtake after it's finished. I'm sure James will love that.
I never got round to making the apple crumble. I made the apple humble pie, but the crumble pie I never got round to making because so I'll have to get some more apples from the apple tree and make the crumble because
apple tree in January. There's going to be a stale apple.
Yeah, bloody hell, yeah.
So obviously Liverpool dropped points this weekend. No surprise there. A 2-2 draw at Fulham. Liverpool led twice. A controversial goal by Wirtz. A Cody Gakpo channeling his inner Richarlison, celebrating like he won the game. And we had
I think he was celebrating like Dennis would have been.
We had an absolute screamer that no goalkeeper would have saved. It was.
What a goal!
I mean, let's start with that goal. Actually, there's no point deconstructing the game everybody's seen. That goal by Harrison Reed.
Goal of the season, Craig, mate.
Calling him a hero. Harrison Ford, they were saying.
Wow. Goal of the season. But also, Liverpool's. I don't know if you've watched the replays. Obviously, when it's happening in real time, it was like, wow, what a goal. But Liverpool just didn't run out to defend it either. I mean, it was just so bizarre. Like, Van Dijk was higher than. Van Dijk was the closest to, and yet all the other midfielders are sitting in the box. But again, it doesn't matter if you put 15 goalkeepers in that net. Nobody's saving that goal.
No.
It was
for me, that's the one that came back from Szoboszlai. That was the rocket that came back. There's like, oh well, if you get a good goal like that against Arsenal, you get one back against Fulham.
that in stoppage time for Fulham is just absolute quality. And then I think Harry Wilson, who was a Liverpool academy player, he scored the opening goal and hit the crossbar. Liverpool's defense just looked again. I don't know what you guys think, but it just looks so fragile. If Liverpool need to look at buying a defender, top priority in this window, just to have any chance at not conceding goals. Never mind stabilising the team on the pitch.
So what Craig's basically saying, Tom, is he's saying if Gyökeres don't score against Liverpool, then he's out. That's what he's saying.
If Gyökeres doesn't score against Liverpool, then I'd be selling him if I was Arteta.
He's had enough weeks, then, Tom. Give him enough weeks.
If you're playing against Liverpool, you don't score a goal, then that just shows you how bad you actually are. I know you guys are all Arsenal, so. What do you think of? I mean, I'm sure somebody watched the game.
Yeah.
No. So, Tom, what do you think about how Liverpool are not seeming to improve defensively against teams like Fulham and teams that are predominantly bottom league teams or mid-table teams? They seem to not be progressing, even though they've had now 6 months to. All together to progress, to play together as a team, build some fluidity. I mean, you see it with Arsenal, managed to bring Eze in and Gyökeres and Zubimendi, and they've got this flow going, and it looks like they're going to win the league. But Tom, what do you think from that game?
The main thing I wanted to say was, even though the defense is still bad, obviously, but the main thing that I thought about the game was how many times were Liverpool caught offside? So many times. I saw Snapco, I think alone was like caught offside about 3 or 4 times. And like, you would think that he would learn to like sort of scan a bit more and sort of look to the side and think, oh yeah, well, I'm offside, and go back in a little bit and then run out.
What's worrying? They spent nearly 200 million on strikers and didn't have one to start in that game.
Yeah,
That's madness.
Well,
mean,
Ekatike's injured as well, and he's injured for the Arsenal game, and Ekatike now.
It's a hamstring, is it?
yeah,
I heard it's a hamstring.
Yeah.
Both out for the Arsenal game.
So now Liverpool can say, now Dennis can say they've got injuries.
He will, yeah.
Why didn't you watch the Liverpool game? Do you only watch the big clubs, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah. You got it.
That must mean he's only been starting watching Arsenal from September.
Mate, since I've had kids, you know, I can only watch Arsenal games. That's all I got time for, you know. I used to watch loads. I used to watch Bundesliga, everything, but I just ain't got time for it now.
I'll be honest with you. I said this to these two. It's strange to see people still watching matches constantly, because like I just don't think you have time to sometimes watch the Vale or something like that, because it's just absolutely full on. That's
Craig, once the game's finished, literally, it's on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's on YouTube. We never had that when we were younger. We'd have to wait till like match of the day.
Match of the day, or the RTV one. I remember watching that very early on as well. With I'm getting off course here, but when it used to be on RTV, that was quality as well.
Times have changed, haven't they? So
Then said to me, he said, "You're not watching the Liverpool game?" And I was at work that day, and I said, "No, I'm waiting for the big one at R5, Man City."
he sometimes sends me a link for the Liverpool game. I'm like, "What are you doing? I'm not watching this."
So another, obviously Fulham are very good. To be fair, let's not just say it's Liverpool's defence. Fulham. They're
a good team. Fulham.
Very, very compact. Wanted to win the game. Didn't give Liverpool too much respect, which is the right thing to do. But obviously, the big decision of the night was the offside averts, which I don't think I know one person who's actually said it is actually offside, because if you look at it, it's no matter what camera angle you look at, the CGI generator does not line up with the actual image of what showed. And even you got people like Jamie Carragher, you know, all ambassadors for the club really saying that is not off. That is not an onside decision. It was offside. I read somewhere today, and I think it was BBC Sport actually, that when they introduced the automated system, FIFA allowed for 5 centimeter tolerance, so the technology wouldn't, so it would line up. So if there's any mishaps, it would line up, and it would essentially be like giving the attacker the benefit of the doubt. Now, other European leagues and the Champions League scrapped to that tolerance, but the Premier League kept it in. But what the issue is with this technology is that was way over 5 centimeters. That Verts is offside. It was actually a shocking decision. I mean, why can't the Premier League get it right? Why cannot the Premier League not only get refereeing decisions right, and we go back to Fulham Chelsea at the beginning of the season, that ridiculous challenge that ruled the Fulham's goal, ruled Fulham's goal out, where they said it was a dangerous tackle. Why can't the Premier League get these things right? Yet other leagues seem to flourish with the technology given to them.
I don't know, because there's a few decisions over the years that I felt are against. I think you always think it's against your club as well, because I remember the Rice one I've gone on about over and over again, where he sort of taps the ball and he gets sent off, and then I've gone over the ones where the ball looked like it had gone out, and then they went back and checked it on camera, and there's like a millimetre of the ball left in, and I've never seen them do that since. I think you always think it's your club when things go against you, don't you, and stuff like that.
This is the first time that people actually
went for you, didn't it? That goal went for you, the Verts one.
Yeah, and that's what people are saying. Even ambassadors for the Liverpool Football Club are saying.
It should have been a goal.
It should have been offside. It should have
been. Yeah, and you're saying it should have been offside, and you're a Liverpool.
I don't think I've met anyone who said it should be onside.
I know what you're saying.
It'll be interesting to see if this Howard Webb They do a show, don't they, on TNT with Mark Owen, where he did, or is it?
Is that the
it might
Ref
be
Watch
Sky
one?
Sports actually, a Ref Watch.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see if what that brings up, because it was a shoddy decision. It was probably one of the worst ones this season, other than the Fulham Chelsea game where Fulham got the goal disallowed from that tackle in the middle of the pitch.
But going back to that, do you remember years like last year when Rice got that red card?
Yeah, I remember.
I've seen him do that last week. He tapped the ball away again. But the reason why they're saying he got the red card is because he stopped the player from taking the free kick quickly. But I've seen him tap that ball away a few times. He's not got booked for it. And he's done it exactly the same, just slightly touched the ball, not like kicked it away like Trossard did against Man City. So I never understand the inconsistency of the referee. And it don't matter whether it's kicking the ball away or whether it's shoulder to shoulder and or in the box. Sometimes they give an hand ball, and sometimes it don't. Or their hands. What can they do? Their hands stand by their side, and they get and they give a penalty. And then other weeks, their hands up and they don't give a penalty. And they go, oh, it's the proximity of the ball, and it's never going to be consistent because they say it's the proximity of the ball. They say it depends on where their hand on, and it's all like speculation. It's all up to depending on who's refereeing it and who's doing the VAR.
There was one at Port Vale this weekend, last weekend. So not the match that just got postponed. I think it was on Thursday, New Year's Day. And they were playing Blackpool. And I don't know if you guys remember when I showed you that video of where Port Vale had a man sent off against Burton, where he got the ball, but because he went over, the class is a dangerous tackle. And there was uproar about that, and rightly so. It was a good tackle, but the class is a dangerous play because of how he fell. And it's happened again in this fixture that's just come up against Blackpool, where their defender did exactly the same, got the ball. Because he went over the ball, when you go over the ball with your foot in the air, your studs are going to show up because it's slippy. You go over the ball, and that was deemed a red card. It's hard when the Premier League referees have got video assistants. You know, in League 2, League 1, it's bad defending. Like, I wouldn't even go near it. Like, it's just shocking. Like, you'll end up on blood pressure tablets.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But when they've got video assistants,
when they're in the Premier League and they've got video assistants, and I feel like they give Howard Webb the weekend to think, right, what am I going to say? How can we edit this video to make
I know.
Because it's just he comes out with the most ridiculous stuff, standing there in his suit, acting as if he makes the rules and not just enforces them. It's the Premier League. Just you don't go to the German Bundesliga. I'm not really fond of the French league, Tom. I know you watch Lille through there, but the European League, the European Champions League, you never really have bad decisions, and the bad decisions that do go always end up against English teams. And I think that's saying something really, because I think you, James, iftenard about I can't remember now. It was a few seasons ago where there was was it the last kick of the game, and Arsenal in a disadvantage, and you were going on through it about months. And it's happened in the Champions League, yeah. But it's only England teams who feel grieved by refereeing in Europe. And is that their fault, or is it because the Premier League's so bad that we're used to these decisions all the time? I don't know. It just seems.
I thought the worst one for me that I can remember in Europe for Arsenal is when Van Persie kicked the ball and he got sent off, and he said, I couldn't hear the whistle. Do you remember that? That was a long while going back, weren't it? Who were we against? Was it against Real Madrid? Can you remember that? Can anyone remember that game?
Barcelona?
It might have been Barcelona.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think that was the worst one I can remember for Arsenal, because he genuinely looked like he didn't hear the whistle. When he kicked the ball, it's like he had a shot or something, didn't he? And then he got sent off. And he said, I didn't hear you could see him lip sync, I didn't hear the whistle. And the ref sent him off for it. And I thought that one was a pretty bad one. And I'll tell you the other worst Arsenal decision I can ever remember was when he sent the wrong Arsenal player off, but that was in the Premier League.
Clichy.
So he sent off Clichy and then Oxlade-Chamberlain. And he sent off Oxlade-Chamberlain, and he didn't even do the tackle. And he's going to the ref, he's going, I didn't do the tackle, it was him. And the ref still didn't believe him.
I remember that one.
That was mental. That was mental. So, but in the end, I think the only way you can, I think it's got to be like the tennis system. I think it's just got to be done by AI completely, and it's either black or white. So if a tackle's try, you get sent off if it's a certain part of the leg, and it's all got to be done on computer.
Are you saying the football should have its own? That
I think it should be like the tennis.
That stadiums that have video assistant referees should be able to have like a challenge then as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think like with tennis, like when you hit the ball and it goes on the line and a little bit of the ball touches the line. Like I'm saying about that Newcastle game where Gary Neville's explaining to us about this much of the ball. He's saying there's this much of the ball on the line and Newcastle scored the goal and therefore it's given. But he had to go back and explain all that. But if you had a system with a computer that just says straight away, bling, that's hit the line. You know what I mean? And then, but the thing is, again, I was going through this video explaining how, like a Newcastle, a bit of the ball, like that, about that much of the ball was of the curve was touching the line, and that for me, that's where it gets.
Can I just ask what the difference is then with goal line technology then? Because if a little bit of the line is touching for goal line technology, it would still be classed as no goal. So what you're saying, I don't really know what you're saying.
I think it's got to be black and white. I think it's got to be done by like it's done in tennis. There's some sort of, is it like a computer with a camera, and as soon as it goes past the line, the computer ticks it off? There's a way of doing that, and there with the computer technology, isn't it?
Well, it's Hawkeye, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be done the same. I don't know how expensive that is. Maybe that's why they can't do that. I don't know. But in tennis, if any of it's touching, it's like a red light or a green light. Whether it's, you know what I mean? It's got to be black or white. You can't have like speculation, like with his handball. You know, if the band's like up here and then it's by the side, there's got to be a way of doing it so you know whether it's. You see what I mean? There's got to be.
It's the time as well. For me, it's just takes so long.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, Chris. It just takes so long. I think if it didn't take as long, and there was a bad decision, at the end of the day, if you're going to make a bad decision, there are going to be bad decisions. And unfortunately, James and you guys only see the Arsenal bad decisions. Whereas when I just said it, it was more about how, like Fulham and Chelsea, because I kind of see it everywhere else. It needs to be lowered, like you said, Chris, because it takes so long. People are getting annoyed when something does go against them. Like, we just waited 10 minutes.
Maybe what I'm saying
pissed me off even more.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm saying can't be done in football. I don't know. Maybe the technology can't work like that in football, like it does in tennis or something, because it's a smaller. Obviously, it's a court, isn't it? It's not. I don't know. Maybe that can't be done, but for me, it's like it's always going to be down to like different opinions. Like the VAR's not making much. It's not making that much of a difference, other than the fact that they can go back and look at it. It's still a human error, isn't it?
The thing with football is it's got that much politics in it, and that many people giving backhanders. Like, who's going to create this technology? Rugby had the technology, and even tennis had the technology to decide incidents a lot longer than football did. And it takes so long because football got so many rules, so many sponsors, so many people, like you say. There is a lot of politics in football where people are getting backhanders. This company who's owned by this company knows the president of this federation. I think that's why football just doesn't seem behind, but it seems to make it takes them a lot longer to introduce technology than other sports.
Yeah. So I've got several things to say. One is VAR is that we come back to this topic every week, don't we? Because there's always something that we think is wrong. It takes too much time for them to come to like an outcome. So I think that they should strip it from VAR, and all technology should like just go from football and do it in the old way and have the referee and linesman, and that's it. Until you get something that is a much better system that actually works.
Yeah, but people used to always complain before it as well.
But with VR, it was like human error, and so it's the same with like the ref and the linesman, and that's the way that it's been done for like hundreds of years. So like I think you should trust that the ref is like going to make the right call, and then like once they make the call, done, end.
I did trust them.
I actually think I agree with Tom there. I agree with Tom there because
I think it's just ridiculous. Because like if you can't get a system that is much better than what it is now in like terms of VAR and goal line sort of technology or like what it's called.
The problem is a lot of these teams.
It's just putting drama and everyone.
I think they've never.
And the final thing is that on the actual football game, they actually don't show you basically all of the angles most of the time, and so they're talking about them sort of making this decision about a foul or like not foul or like is it offside or not offside, And like a lot of times they will like just tell you a bit about that, like they are talking about it in VAR, and then the fans are there and they're all thinking, okay, so what's going on? And like the players are there thinking what's going on, and you just don't need that adds stress, it adds anxiety, like it adds all these things that basically you like don't need to have. Like,
you know what I think it's affected the most? You know what I think it's affected the most? When you score a goal, because you can't celebrate the same. And you're like, oh, hang on, is it a goal, isn't it? That's the thing it's affected the most, because you score a goal and you're like, hang on, they're bringing it back. Is it a goal or not? And you have to wait 5 minutes till you cheer, or you have to wait 5 minutes to be disappointed. You know, it's like, and I think that's the biggest problem with it. It's really affected when you score a goal, because players have to wait and they can't celebrate properly, and then they celebrate off, and that just it ruins the fun in it a bit to me. Yeah,
and that's why I think I agree with Tom. I mean, I go watch Port Vale regularly, and yes, you are annoyed when the decision goes your way, but that's it. Then it's over and done with. Like, you carry on to the next decision. Nobody really talks, but yeah, we say, oh, the rest are shit, and they are shit. They are really. They are Bob standards. They are bad, like really bad. But I don't know if you've ever put somebody chase the ref off the pitch for Port Vale. Seasons ago. So that's how bad they are. That people actually
I've got two ideas, right?
But it is what Tom said. It's over and done with. Like, the decision's been made. The referees made the decision. Carry on. Problem is now with deconstructing technology. And I just think the Premier League haven't got it right. I think it's just wrong.
Well, I've got two ideas for it. One's probably hanging around with Dennis too much. Shades of Dennis Rubio. I think Dennis should referee all the matches.
Oh my god!
Because the other day he said to me that Arsenal are cheating to win the title. He said we're cheating, and he said that the ref blew up. What time did he say the ref blew up? On the 96th minute, as soon as Bournemouth took the throw, and he said they were about to cross it in, and the ref blew up. He said, "Who does that?" He said, "Arsenal are cheating." And I said, "How are Arsenal cheating? You mean the refs are cheating then?" And he goes,
I noticed how Craig doesn't get too involved. He's quite professional.
I don't know how he keeps his composure.
How he keeps his composure, yeah.
He's like
years of experience.
He's like Saliba. Actually, my dad said that. He said when I watched the podcast, he said Craig's very professional. He don't get involved with all that.
Yeah,
nonsense.
He
It's that weird thing. I just
he's the host.
Yeah,
that's the host's job, is to try and stay impartial. And
I cry into my pillow after this.
My other idea was have all women referees, so the men can't get a physical with them, because they're less likely to swear at women referees.
I think that is actually an instant caution, though, isn't it? That's what they say. But the mic'd up now, if you swear, it's a caution now.
The surrounding the referee is not as bad as what it was. Do you remember a couple seasons ago? It was like crazy, wasn't it? Half the squad was surrounded the referee.
That's a Premier League rule, you know, because if you see it in Europe, you still see some of that there. You're watching Fiorentina play, and they have a wrong decision go their way. It's not as bad as it used to be, as you say, but they don't. I think.
Oh right.
I think in the Premier League, only the captains allowed to go up to them. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I think in the other leagues, I think the rule is only a couple of players can go up, but they still get a bit involved and show these fake yellow cards.
Oh, he keeps doing that. Hincapia keeps doing that. And I'm thinking, stop doing that. You're going to get booked. He'll give you a card. I've seen him do that a few times, and that was a rule that if they did that, they get booked themselves, wasn't it? At one point, well, not a rule, but that was something they said that if you do like what's it called, like an imaginary yellow card, what's it called, a simulation of a yellow card, then you get booked yourself.
Well, how long did Martinez have the ball as well for Aston Villa a few times against Arsenal? And they didn't get a corner, did they? They didn't get like a corner like they meant to. 6 seconds.
There's 3 minutes added time as well, half time.
Yeah.
You know what was so beautiful about that game? I said to Dennis, I said, Martinez is crap at corners. Gabriel's going to score from a corner. I said, he is crap at corners, and he gets bullied on corners, Martinez. I've noticed that.
He's been bad this season.
And we're good at corners.
5 games,
yeah, I could see it happening. And then he's for such a big bloke. I thought and he was saying he got fouled, weren't he? It was obvious he was going to say that once he was. But yeah.
So I think we're coming up to the hour mark now. So as much as this was meant to be a short episode, those are the famous last words, because I don't think any episode has been short yet. So, Tom, you've got a long time to edit this video, my mate, because I'm giving it to Tom this week. So, the last segment we're going to do is what we've been trialing is Hero or Zero, and it's not called that. I keep forgetting the word. Tom knows it. Howler and Player of the Week. There we go.
Howler and Player of the Week. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Chris, you watched it, so you understand what this is. So we all pick our player that's done, in our eyes, the best this week, and the player who's had an absolute, or manager, or fans, or referees had an absolute hour. So I'm going to start this week with James. If you want to give me your player of the week.
I'm going to give it to the bloke who scored against Liverpool because it was such a good goal. I'm going to give it to that. What's his name?
Harrison Reed.
Harrison Reed. I thought it was such a good goal, and I think that will be goal of the season. I think that will end up going, unless something good comes before now. I think that's going to end up. I know it was just like a freak shot on that, and no one really closed him down. But it's just,
it's quality,
and it was the time it was scored in as well. That made it more, I suppose. You never expected Liverpool to end up drawing that game after. Yeah, I mean, I was about to turn it off, and the other game
triggered.
Howler actually. Howler, I'd rather go back a week because we missed a couple of podcasts because we've had Christmas and say that bloody Martinez was the Howler from that.
Yeah.
I'd like to bully Martinez because he always hates Arsenal, doesn't he?
That's two good shouts. That's two good shouts, that was, yeah.
I'm not sure about Howler this weekend though because I haven't watched all the games.
I got a Howler. I can't remember his name. Plays for Bournemouth, and Gabriel was in the box, and he grabbed Gabriel's elbow and headbutted his elbow. Went down for a penalty. Did you see that?
Was that the striker? Was that the?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. But he's got to be a Fool of the week.
Fool of the week. That's a good one. And who would you say is your player of the week?
It's got to be Rice for me. It's got to be Rice. We got that 3 points, and we got that gap. So Rice for me, mate.
Quality. Tom, do you want to go next? Well,
yes, I think mine's the same player for Howler of the Week and like Player of the Week. Big Gabby.
Big Gabs.
Yeah, he done well, Gabriel.
Howler and Player of the Week.
Oh, is he Howler and Player? Wow, that's
Howler.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Howler. That would have been my Howler
goal. Then they came and rescued.
That would have been my Howler actually because I went back a couple of weeks to Martinez, didn't I? Yeah. And wet wipe of the month, Emery for not shaking Arteta's hand.
Yeah,
Dennis Rubio's favourite manager who said that's better than Arteta. Wet wipe of the month.
Wet wipe of the week.
That was so funny.
I can't believe he didn't shake his hand. That was disgraceful. That was.
Yeah, it was naughty. It was naughty.
Yeah, he needs to start introducing the light bulb technique to his players.
God, that's just embarrassing. Anyway, less of that. That actually Arteta's the Howler of the bloody 3 seasons ago for the light bulb treatment.
No, consistency. That's called consistency.
You got Fergie with his hairdryer treatment, so then you got Arteta with his light bulb.
No. Arteta should be the most consistent manager of the last 3 years. So.
Anyway, most consistent at winning nothing. So, moving on to joking. Moving on to I'm going to say player of the week is Rice. I thought he was quality. I just said, he just drives that. He's like the engine. I feel like he's just like keep things ticking over. He's what keeps Arsenal going. I know, obviously, there's players who get more plaudits than him, but I just think Rice is a vital piece in that midfield, and I think he's the investment well spent, unbelievably well spent. To think as well, he could have gone to City, I think, at one point, and he went to Arsenal. It's a fantastic investment for Arsenal. And my hour of the week, I've got 2 actually. One for the Premier League, which is the Amorim, for basically shredding the board of Manchester United, ripping him a new one, and I think he knew what he was doing. He wanted his payout. So he's got a nice 18 months of money now coming in, which I don't blame him. And the other one is the Celtic manager who's been sacked today as well for losing 3-1 against Rangers, poor Rangers. yeah, so I don't know his first name. I think his name's Nancy, something Nancy. So Martin O'Neill's taken over until the end of the season.
I thought Postecoglou would go back there.
Well, O'Neill's done quite a good job before Nancy come in. He settled the team, and
O'Neill's a great manager as well. I like him as a manager.
who'd you like?
Martin O'Neill.
Yeah. So that guy from France come in, and he did what Arteta did with his light bulb. He brought his little tactics board on the pitch with him. Bit of like Van Gaal when he brought his big book and fell on the floor. He needed something to be on TV with, and it just didn't work. It was like, I don't know much. I watch a little bit of football, but I read more of it. With technology.
We've lost Chris now. You've upset him saying Arteta weren't very good or something with a light bulb.
I'm sure you'll get over it. So 2 hours of the week and one for the Scottish Premier League, which is a Howland General, and Amorim.
So I would have gone for Harrison Reed as my favourite player, though. That was just my favourite goal of the week.
Yeah. I mean, goal. Listen, there's no right or wrong with this. I think it's just Harrison Reed's goal was just quality. Like you say, there's going to be goal of the season unless someone comes along and does a Giroud and brings her in as Giroud in. So thank you to Tom, James and Chris this week. Thank you for Dennis for watching along. Hope you come back soon.
We're gonna win the league.